We, the Oikos HJTI group, would like to extend our honor to all women, and this video is dedicated to them. And in a special way, the late Jackie Gibson, a woman who in a lifetime tremendously influenced the academic and moral formation of many here at SJTI. May her soul rest in peace, and long live all the women in our lives now who continue to influence us with their lives. You are the reason the world still has some humanity left. I believe that much is still to be done to effectively address the inequality between men and women now. As the Oikos SJTI group, we are committed to this. Just as Pope John the 23rd acknowledged in 1963 that women were becoming more conscious of their human dignity and would not tolerate being treated as objects or mere instruments, but claim both in domestic and public life the rights and duties that befit a human person, all men too should become conscious of this human dignity of all women and treat them as their equals.
St. Joseph's Theological Institute has always been an institute which empowers women from its development of programs to encouraging women to pursue studies in development studies, theology, and philosophy. From the outset, it has always been an institute that has encouraged women to come to the institute to study theology, and has had many religious sisters and lay women studying here and empowering themselves to serve the church and society. This Women's Month, we encourage women both in the institute and beyond to pursue studies in theology, development studies, and philosophy, so that women can be empowered and have a greater voice within the church and society, that they might reflect more on what it is to be a woman and to have this view of womanhood spread to all sectors of society, and especially in the Catholic Church. We wish all women well for this month of Women's Month, and we hope that they will truly be inspired to have their voice heard, to have their life stories told, to be truly part of the intellectual landscape, the academic landscape. We are very thankful to all women who work here at the Institute, both as lecturers and as admin staff, and we hope that their engagement in the Institute will inspire others to also become involved in theological, philosophical, and developmental studies in the future.
On August 9th each year, South Africa celebrates National Women's Day. And on it, we look backward. We look back to August 1956, when 20,000 women of all races, and that was illegal, it was an illegal march, marched to the Union buildings in Pretoria against the pass laws which had been extended to women. As they marched, they sang, "You have struck a woman, you have struck a rock." Well, 1956 was 63 years ago, a very long time. So we can say, well, what's going on today? Of course, apartheid is gone. There are no pass laws. There's plenty of poverty, of course. There's been much progress for women in education. For instance, at the graduation ceremonies for UKZN in Maritzburg the last couple of years, there have been more women getting the bachelor's degrees than men. There's been improvement in women's employment. Women now hold top positions in business. But, and it's a big but, gender-based violence continues to grow. HIV and AIDS is still a major problem for women. The infection rate for all groups has dropped except for young women ages 15 to 24, who remain most at risk. Today in the Catholic Church, we have women in positions In the church, Sister Hermenegild Macaro is the Secretary General of the Bishops' Conference, which is a very important thing. And we have Catholic women theologians, not too many of us, but we're here in South Africa. But what can we say about the future? I just want to make some comments about the future in terms of Women's Day in the church. Women's leadership in the church is very slow, very slow. Pope Francis says there should be more women leaders, but he is very slow. However, recently, about a month ago, he appointed 7 women to the dicastery of religious and consecrated life, which is an important step forward because women make up the majority of women religious make up the majority of religious in the world, but we have never been represented on the dicastery. There has been the discussion about women deacons, and I guess I would conclude by saying, which pope will be brave enough to look at the question of women's ordination to the priesthood and the episcopacy?
The church and the society need women so that the human race can live without completely losing their humanity. The vocation for women has significance which is actualized and expressed in women's many different vocations in the church and the world. As women, we are strong because of our awareness of this and trusting we bring to the church and the world our many gifts and experience. We are often the community builders who seek reconciliation and peace. As women, we often serve those who are weak, sick, and oppressed.
As the woman is SJTI, we give a thanks to the Oikos group for this initiative to honor us as all the women. We also thanks the entire SJTI community for the empowering and appreciating and respecting us as a woman. To all the women, we say Sukuma and make your mark in your society.